Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. When Liverpool win games, a video on the channel is almost guaranteed. And today is no different. Liverpool 1, Everton 0. And as you can see the headline behind me, Liverpool 13 points away from guaranteeing themselves a 20th league title, a second Premier League in the Premier League era. It's crazy and it's becoming surreal the more and more game weeks go down, and we've hit the 30-point game week now. 8 games to go. Liverpool are 13 points from the title after beating Everton 1-0 in the Merseyside derby. And I'm going to try to get into it as best as I can. But guys, first and foremost, I do it every single video. Today is no different. I'd like to say thank you very much. And not only for the support you've shown on my channel, and not only for all the likes and the subscriptions, it's the consistency that you guys are showing me. Like this, I see the same people coming back over and over again. It's just like I've built an audience, and it really makes me like feel appreciative that people actually take the time out of the day to watch me talk about football when they can, you know, probably watch other creators. And to me, that's a bit insane, not stupid. It's a bit insane to me because I'm the type of guy where I look at myself talk about football. I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. And then there's you guys that just sit there and watch me and listen to me and appreciate me. So thank you very much for all the support you guys have shown me. And we are just over 50 subscribers away from 500. Now, I said 3 months last time for 400. Can we get 500 by the end of April? We're on the 2nd of April now. So still got a month. I know you guys can do it. So make sure you like, make sure to subscribe, and share it to all your friends. But look, guys, let's get into the football talk. Liverpool have beaten Everton at Anfield in the Merseyside derby. And you know what? If I'm looking at the overall game, the first half and the second half are very, very different. First half was scrappy, cagey. I thought Everton caused a lot of problems, especially Beto to Van Dijk and Kanate. And obviously he had a goal ruled out. He hit the post. And I was looking at the game thinking, whoa, this could be a bit of a problem here because Van Dijk and Kanate just could not deal with him. Any ball that came forward from Pickford, from Tarkowski, they just weren't able to read it. And Beto got the better of them 95% of the time. And I think that was the danger for Everton. And they ultimately tried to play on the counter-attack. I had a good few chances in the first half. And I think Liverpool were quite fortunate going into half-time being 0-0 because obviously having a goal ruled out for Beto than him hitting the post when arguably should have been a goal, you know, let Liverpool off the hook a bit. And the second half came and there was just a wave of Liverpool attacks. And they got a lot more control in the game. Anfield came alive and they got behind the team, and Liverpool eventually got their goal with absolute brilliance of Diogo Jota, who dribbled past 3 or 4 players and slotted it away. And as you can see him behind me, he's so good at that, Diogo Jota. He is so good at that. Effective, brilliant, because if you put him in front of the goal, and I've said this many times, he's probably Liverpool's most clinical forward. I think in terms of left foot, right foot, and aerially, I think as a whole package, he is the top kind of benchmark. Maybe not in terms of goals, obviously there's another guy at Liverpool called Mohamed Salah who does it on a much more consistent and much more regular basis than Diogo Jota can. But a fit Diogo Jota, a firing Diogo Jota, is a scary Diogo Jota, because everybody then signifies to us that we need a number 9, and I'm in agreement of that because of Darwin Núñez's, you know, there's question marks on his future and Jota's fitness levels. But when Jota's fit and available, he can win you a game. And today he's the one that scored the goal that got Liverpool the 3 points. And we saw a couple of years ago in the 21-22 year where Jota played 35 games, scored 15-16 league goals, and ever since then he's not played that number of games, and his goal tally hasn't reflected that either. His goal tally has reflected that he's not played many games because it's been very, very low compared to that year. But you put him in front of the goal 95% of the time, 90% of the time, it probably results in a goal. And look, it's been an indifferent season for him, and injuries haven't helped, but I think he can score goals, and today was an example of it. And I thought he was pretty decent all round. Another player I'd like to shout out, especially in the first half and the second half, like the whole game generally, was that left winger that gets criticised a lot by Liverpool fans. And his name is Luis Diaz. I thought he was exceptional. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He was courageous. The energy he showed, the desire to win the ball back, the tracking back ability, the pressing. He was a machine today. I saw him on the left. I saw him on the right. I saw him picking the ball up from deep. And there are a few times, you know what, he dribbled past quite a few players and he gave them, gave the ball away. And he does this, Luis Diaz. There are times where I watch him, I'm like, oh, he's dribbled past 7 players and then he just holds onto the ball a bit too long, tries to dribble past the 8th and loses the ball. And today was a bit different. He was very tenacious in his tackling, his ability to dribble past players. And every time that he got forward, he picked up the right pass. There was a few times where he did do what I just said, where he dribbled past quite a few players and the ball wasn't the greatest, especially in the second half. But he got an assist for Diogo Jota and he contributed to Liverpool's winner. And ultimately, that's why I have to reward him as the best player on the pitch today for Liverpool. And look, whether he's here next season or not is a different question. But he was quite exceptional today. And look, he needed a performance. And there was a stat from Sky Sports, and I do want to get it up for you, if I can read it out to you. So it was about Liverpool's forwards. Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota, Darwin Núñez, and Cody Gakpo. And I think having Gakpo on there was quite unfair. But it read, Luis Diaz, 1 goal in his last 18 appearances. Diogo Jota, 0 goals in his last 10 appearances. This is prior to today, so this is before the Derby game. Darwin Núñez, 1 goal in his last 13. Cody Gakpo, 0 in his last 5. And I'm gonna slash out Cody Gakpo from there because I think he's had injuries and he's had a lot of substitute appearances. Otherwise, he's had a very, very good season. But Luis Diaz, 1 goal in 18. It's not really good enough, so he needed a performance. Diogo Jota obviously now has 1 in 11, which was today very, very good. Well, not very, very good. I know he scored, but in terms of that 1 in 11 for a striker is not good enough. Darwin Núñez, 1 goal in his last 13, not good enough. And you got Gakpo, which reads 0 in the last 5. I'm not going to speak about Gakpo because he's had a great season in my opinion. But between those 3 players, it's not good enough. So I think a performance was necessary, especially from Diaz and Jota, who are regular starters. I'm not saying Núñez isn't, but when you think of Liverpool's best 11, some people might not put Diaz in there, but you look at across the season, Diaz did start the year at left wing, so did Jota. So Jota started centrally. So you look at the front 3 Liverpool today, it's probably what Arne Slot fancies the most. And I think Gakpo's form has obviously got him into that position. And it's preference what you want. I like Gakpo down the left. People like Diaz, and that's fine. But a much needed performance from players. But for me, from those players, but for me, the most important thing was the 3 points. The most important thing today was the 3 points. People are going to signify about performances and etc., etc., etc. But when you're 8 games to go, you're closing on a title. You just want to knock the games down. You just want to win, and knock them down so you get the title as quickly as you can. And that's what Liverpool are trying to do. They're trying to, count down the games now that Liverpool inevitably will win the Premier League title. And it doesn't look like a if anymore. It looks more like a formality. And I think we've known that a long time now that Liverpool are going to be Premier League champions. And today was another step in the right direction. 4 more wins is what Liverpool need. That is 12, but then an extra 13. But I think in that kind of period of time, Arsenal will drop points, so it might be a bit less. And also, Arsenal then come to Anfield. So the mathematics are Arsenal are on 61 points. From 8 games, they can get 24, which puts them on 85 points. They play Liverpool at Anfield, which means if they draw or lose that game, Liverpool will need less. So Liverpool just need 86 to guarantee themselves a league title. But that won't be possible because both of those teams play each other. So one of those teams, if maybe both, will not hit the benchmark that we expect them to get. And again, before that, I do think Liverpool will drop points and I do think Arsenal will drop points, which is why I think the league title will already be done by the time Liverpool play Arsenal. So look, I think for us Liverpool supporters, and I think I speak for a lot of them, maybe not all, but because the last time I put a tweet out saying I speak for all Liverpool fans, they didn't like it. So I'm just going to say, for the ones I speak to anyway, I think they just want this league title won as quickly as possible, that we can move on from this season, invest in the summer and go again next year. Because I think this year, of course, we've been good. Of course, we have got a 12-point lead. Of course, it's magnificent. Of course, it's the biggest lead since probably 17, 18 or 2021 where Man City won the league title. But I think next season is where Arne Slot's going to be judged. When City are firing again, when Arsenal are firing again, when Chelsea are probably going to be up in discussion again, when Newcastle are probably going to be up there, even more impressive than this year. Chelsea, I don't know if I said them before, but Chelsea, Spurs, United, these are all teams that are going to improve. Aston Villa. all teams that are going to, improve their squads, improve their players are going to get better another year under the new coach. So look, people then might make the argument that, in a year's time we might be better than Arne Slot because he's then had a year, and that's fair. But losing Salah and Van Dijk might, dent those plans a lot. And look, I don't think either of them were great today. Van Dijk obviously struggled against Beto, and Salah obviously didn't get a contribution in terms of goals or assists. And I think his overall game wasn't the greatest I've seen him play. But they've carried Liverpool to titles before. They've been Liverpool's standout performers when Liverpool really need them. You think back to the Champions League final, Virgil van Dijk, Salah already scored in that game. So I think they deserve this title. And if this is a send-off for them, I wish them the very, very best. Obviously, Trent will probably not play a game for Liverpool again. And obviously, he looks set to join Real Madrid. But a Merseyside derby win was the most important thing for Liverpool. I think you look at context, it probably doesn't mean much for Everton and Liverpool in terms of, I think I worded this incorrectly yesterday on Born and Red. I think what I was trying to imply was that Everton are safe, Liverpool are guaranteed the title. So in terms of, where this game is going to go for both teams, if Everton win or Liverpool win, I don't really think it's going to affect their season too much, because I think that Everton are guaranteed to stay up and Liverpool are probably 95% sure, or Sky had 99% sure that they're going to win the Premier League title. So again, the emotions in the derby are always going to be high between Liverpool and Everton. Families colliding. They're so close to each other, separated by one massive park, and not after this year. But that's what it is. It's a local derby. You don't get any more local than Liverpool and Everton. And again, it does mean a lot to the Liverpool fans. I know it does. United and Everton mean more than anything. Maybe you can put United or Everton first, whatever you prefer. But Liverpool needed the win, and Liverpool got the win. And look, if I'm Arsenal, if I'm Mikel Arteta, I take the focus off the Premier League. I know he's come out and said, "Oh, we're going to fight till the end," but if they aren't going to win the league, it's not going to happen. 12 points is too much with 8 games to go, especially when you have to then play the team that's sitting above you in the league. Just don't think it's going to happen. And look, I'm sure they will come again. They are a good side. They've got a good coach, and they have some good players, and they look set to make a few additions in the summer. Gyökeres, Zubimendi, whoever it is they bring in, and they will be better than they are this year. I have no qualms or doubts about that. But I think their focus should now remain on the Champions League. They have a very, very important tie against Real Madrid. The league is done for them. They're not in the Carabao Cup. They're not in the FA Cup. Well, the Carabao Cup's already done. They're out the FA Cup. And their only sole focus now is probably the Champions League. And if they can really go on a run in that, and if they beat Real Madrid, I think Arsenal fans are going to start believing that they can go and probably win this competition. I think I'd be in agreement with them, because I look at the competition as a whole. Bar Paris Saint-Germain that I've watched, nobody really stands out to me as a real, diamond in this competition. Real Madrid have heritage. Atletico Madrid are out. Bayern Munich, I still have my question marks about them. Although they play good football, I just think they are not to the level that we know they can get to. I think you got Arsenal in there, who are also, there's question marks about their European pedigree. But I think as an overall side, they have the experience now, 1 year in the Champions League. Manchester City are not in it. Liverpool are not in it. Barcelona, probably another one. Sorry, I forgot Barcelona. Barcelona, another one that could throw a span in the works. But between Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Arsenal, and Barcelona, I think one of those four are probably going to win the competition. And if I'm Mikel Arteta, I put my eggs in that basket, because you know what? You never know in football. You could end up with a Champions League trophy and end Arsenal's long drought for a European trophy. They've never won it before. I know it's Cup Winners' Cup, but they've never won the Champions League. And I think Arsenal fans would love to have that this year. But there won't be no league title for them this year. There will be a league title for Liverpool fans this year, including myself, and I'm absolutely delighted about that. Arne Slot's done a magnificent job, beyond my wildest dreams, that I thought after Klopp, Liverpool would really, really struggle to, replicate the years that have gone by, especially the title-winning season, the Champions League winning season. But Arne Slot has really, come in, imprinted himself on this team with not even his players, and managed to get Liverpool a Premier League title. And I commend him for that, because it's not an easy feat to do. And I'm sure with a few additions, Liverpool will be competing again. But 13 points away from the Premier League title, 12 points clear, 8 games to go. That's all that is left. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you when Liverpool probably and almost guarantee themselves a Premier League title. I'll see you before that, though, don't worry. Take care.